I don't know about you, but I have definitely in my life believed that God was telling me to do something or go somewhere, but I've doubted. If you can relate to that, this video is for you. I have been reading about this famous missionary, and her name is Gladys Aylward, and she did the impossible. What a lot of people believed, so many people believed that it would be impossible, and yet she had faith. Yet she believed that this is what God wanted her to do. And if this is what God wanted her to do, then it will happen, no matter if it's impossible or not. So Gladys Aylward, she was from Europe, and she was known as this like small woman. She didn't think she was very smart. She didn't really have much of an education. But all she knew was that she wanted to serve the Lord. One day, she felt this call towards China. And she actually went around to people around her and was like, you should go to China. You should help people in China. Yeah, basically, she kind of did what I would do. You know, sometimes I feel like I should do something and I'm like, I ask around, I'm like, maybe you should do this because I think people are better qualified than me. But in the Bible, it says he chose the weak, the overlooked, the fools to be his people, to share the message of Christ. So basically, she went around telling people, you should do this, you should go to China. And they're like, no. And so one day she was like, I don't know a lot about the Bible. I know about God. I know that I want to serve him with my life, but I don't know enough in order to share. So she decided that she was going to read through the Bible. And she read through the Bible. A passage stuck out to her about, I'm going to read a quote from this book. It's called The Little Woman. This is where I got a lot of my sources from. And she read, now the Lord had said unto Abram, get thee out of thy country and from thy kindred and from thy father's house unto a land that I will show thee, and I will make thy name great, and thou shalt be a blessing. And immediately she knew that the Lord was speaking to her, that the Lord wanted her to go to China. And if the Lord wanted her to go to China, then he would give her the ability to go. She actually joined a missions program and tried to study there. And they said to her, you're not qualified enough to do this, and you're not smart enough, basically, to do this. Now think about that. Like, think about that. That would have crushed me to the core. And I would have been like, yeah, God's not speaking to me. But Gladys had faith. She had faith that, yes, she's not qualified, but God will make her qualified. And she says later that, spoiler alert, she does go to China. And she says later that it was only a miracle from God that she was able to learn Chinese, but God did it. And I think that's just so amazing. Like, how often do we like, I could never do that? Well, guess what? We have God on our side. So time goes by and these little miracles start happening where she's able to get money to go to China, and she hears that there's a woman who's living in China who is looking for someone to come and serve with her and be a missionary with her. And she's been praying for a long time for that. And she's like, well, I know who she's been praying for. She's been praying for me because God is going to use me. She ended up going to Russia. It was a pretty extreme journey. Like, she almost died multiple times. She was starving and she did have her doubts. And so that's something like I also have to think about. And like, we have to think about, like, there is going to be times of doubt. There's times where our faith is shaken, but she just prayed. She prayed to the Lord and he always showed up for her. There's a really cool moment, and it's kind of a dark moment in her journey, but at one point she was in this home before she even made it to China. She was in this home and it was really sketchy. It was a really sketchy situation. And a woman actually told her that you need to go. Like, you are in danger. They're going to try and keep you here in, I believe it was Russia. And she didn't know. She was in this home and she didn't know whether she should trust this person or she should trust the people whose home she was staying at. And so she just prayed. So I'm going to read to you this section. So she's in this house and she's trying to figure out if she should trust these people she's staying with or if she should trust this woman, this random woman who said, leave. She said that a knock, she was lying in bed and a knock came to her door. Oh yeah, someone in the house had taken her passport. So she opened the door, and the man of the house stood at the door, and he had the passport. I'll read it to you. Suddenly, I grabbed it from him, the passport, and threw it behind him into the room, at the same time saying far more boldly than I felt, "You are not coming in here." "Why not?" he said. "Because this is my bedroom." And he said, "I am the master. I can do with you what I wish." And she said, "Oh no, you cannot. You may not believe in God, but he is here. Touch me and you'll see. Between you and me, God has put a barrier. Go." Oh my gosh. And the coolest thing, he stared at me, then shivered, and without another word, turned and left me. That's the power of God. That was not her at all. That was God. So she ended up making it to China. And here's another interesting part of the story is she made it to China. She made it to the missionary who had been praying about her, for her. And it wasn't all that she expected.